This is a 2-up race focusing on man 1 leading out from the front. Man 1 is going to stay on the black line, keeping things nice and simple but really effective. This is the perfect tactic for a beginner or someone who's new to track sprinting, and is one that you should nail before moving on to more advanced tactics and going up the track. Notice how man 2 has a gap here immediately. This is something you should always do, as it gives you room to race, stops you being pinned, and you can use it later. During this first lap, man 1 wants to keep the pace as slow as possible. There's no pressure from man 2 here. This is to man 1's advantage. If man 2 goes up the track and looks threatening, man 1 needs to press on, speed up. This pace protects them from an attack and ultimately forces man 2 to come back down the track, losing their height. When man 2 becomes even more threatening, man 1 just presses on harder. You can see how that brought man 2 back down the track. Now man 1 is just doing enough here to stay protected, not 100%. We wait until this point with 3/4 of a lap to go 100%. You can see here how that kept man 2 close. It messed up their gap to rush and causes man 2 to really struggle. So why does this work? We join the race here with 2 laps to go. You can see as soon as man 2 moves up the track, man 1 speeds up. This forces them to come back down the track to control the gap, and they lose the height advantage that they want. This is the perfect tactic for a beginner because man 1 never leaves the black line. This means that they never give man 2 the opportunity to dive up the inside and undertake on the left. By doing this as a razor, the pace is such that man 1 doesn't blow, but man 2 doesn't get the height advantage that they want. It's a tricky balance, but if you get it right, you can see here how man 2 catches going into the bend, which is the worst possible time, and makes things really difficult for themselves. We can now watch the race from the final angle, which is the helmet cam of man 2. You can again clearly see how going into the bend, the gap between the 2 riders gets bigger, forcing man 2 to come back down the track and lose their height. There's an expression in sprinting, if in doubt lead out, and this is often the case, especially if man 1 is faster in qualifying, as it gives them a clear run of the track and allows them to use their speed advantage. Once you have this mastered, the next step will be for man 1 to go up the track and use the height of the track to control the position of man 2. This will be covered in our next video coming soon.